Okay, today we'll be learning about the law of sines, which is actually useful. Again, law of sines works with any triangle, so it doesn't have to be a right triangle. It could just be a obtuse or an acute triangle. It doesn't matter. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to set up proportions, and the proportion will always be just like we have over here. It'll always be the sine of one of my angles over the side that's across from that angle. So here I have angle A. I'm going to take the sine of that angle and write it over top of whatever length A is. And that's going to be equal to, and it doesn't matter which other angle and side I'm choosing, but like sine of B over the length, again, it's across from. So I'll take the sine of whatever angle B is, and I'll write it over top of the length of B. Or it could be C. It doesn't matter either way. So for this problem right here, I want to find out what x was equal to. Again, I always want to have only one variable, and so the first thing I'm going to look for is an angle and a side across from it that are both numbers. And so here I have angle 93 and 15. So I'm going to take the sine of 93 over 15 is equal to, and then I want to find x, so x is going to go on the bottom. Again, my top is always angles and sines of those angles, and my bottom is always the length. And so with x across from it is 48, so I'll take the sine of 48. And when I do this in my calculator, I want to be able to actually do it all as one big calculation in the end. So I'm going to do 15 times the sine of 48 is equal to, and I'm going to do x times the sine of 93. To find out what x is then, I can divide both sides by the sine of 93. So I get x is equal to, and again, as I plug this in, I'm going to plug in this whole thing, 15 times the sine of 48. Remember to put a parenthesis at the end of this 48 in your calculator, or else it'll mess it up. And then again, divided by a sine of 93, and make sure you put 93 in parentheses. So when I do that, I should get, I think it's 11.2. And so if I wanted to do, again, for example, if I wanted to find out what AB was, so I'm going to find out the length of AB. So again, I'd still have the sine of 93 over 15 is equal to, and again, I want so I'm going to have y on my bottom, and then over here, I want to find out what the angle C is, and so I do 93 plus 48. And then I would take 180 and subtract it, so I get sine of 39. So again, cross multiply and find out what y is. The last one here then, again, I'm going to be able to find out angles as well. And so here, I want to find out what angle S is, so that's going to be my x. And so again, on my left side, I'm going to have two numbers, which will be 120 and 18, because they're across from each other. So sine of 120 over 18 is equal to the sine of x, because I don't know, and the side across from x, which is 11. Again, cross multiply, and so I get 11 times, the sine of 120 is equal to 18 times the sine of x. Divide both sides by 18. So I get the sine, 11 times the sine of 120 divided by 18 is equal to the sine of x. And remember, whenever I'm finding the sine of x, I'm always going to do inverse sine or second sine. So I do sine to the negative 1 by hitting the second sine. And then in those parentheses, I'm going to put 11 times the regular sine of 120, making sure I close my parentheses, and then divide it by 18. And so when I do that, I get x to equal, I think it's 32 degrees. And didn't have enough time to cover any of this. We did this on our whiteboards, and here's your homework.